Good morning, because it's still morning. 10:30 and we're finally getting started. It was raining, but also last night we stayed at Carly's house, and Carly is a family friend's niece, and her husband were incredibly generous and kind, and we are so thankful we got to stay there. She made us steaks and vegetables and breakfast and bought us each our own pint of Ben & Jerry's. And wow, honestly, it was amazing, amazing trail magic, amazing people, so kind. So thank you, Carly and Austin.
Thank you.
Gumby says thank
amazing.
you. It was amazing. And because of it, we've gotten a late start because we were just living in luxury. And it was also raining. But big uphill, extremely heavy backpack with 4 days of food. And we'll see how far we can make it. I know it's not that humid compared to what's coming, but it feels like I am walking through the rainforest section of the zoo right now. Oh. So I figured out why my food bag is so freaking heavy. I mean, I did buy a lot of food, but usually I buy like one salmon packet and one tuna packet for lunch, and I pulled them out today for lunch, and I was like, whoa, this salmon packet, something is different about it. I had bought the like double-sized salmon packets without realizing it, so I have like 10 ounces of additional lunch, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're carrying it on your back, it adds up. I'm at a place known as the Beauty Spot. I feel like I'm always getting these kinds of views for these allegedly beautiful places. It's kind of beautiful in its own way, but also a little spooky. Home sweet home. Day 37. And I am feeling jazzed. Feeling hyped. And there's two reasons. They're both food related. One, I woke up actually hungry today. So I ate breakfast, which amounted to something probably close to 800 calories, which I haven't started off a day like that in a long time, unless like I was in town eating. The second reason is everything was sugar, honey bun, fig bars, these Natured Valley almond butter cookie things. So I don't even know how much sugar I have in me right now, but I'm feeling great because of it. And we're trying to make a 19-mile day, so it's good that I'm starting off fueled and not starting at a deficit like I usually do. So yeah, feeling awesome! This is Gumby eating lunch.
Hi.
And this is what he chose to sit under. You notice it's a little wobbly up there, right above his head. So our 19-mile day did not happen. This section from Irwin to Roan area has been harder than anticipated, and we made it like 13 and a bit miles today to the Clyde Smith shelter, and tomorrow have a big climb, Roan Mountain, and then we're going to like a tent site, and then we should only have a 10-mile day, so it won't be terrible. It'll be like 16 or something. I don't know, really. I didn't do the math on it. But I'm walking down to get us water now. I'm getting Gumby water too, because he always does like 90% of the work for our bear hang, so I can go fetch water once. The sky this morning was something else, wasn't it? Wow. I was like laying in my sleeping bag and noticed the light was looking funny in the shelter. So I was like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom anyway. Let's get up and look. It was amazing. But anyway, I had a great time in the shelter last night because we thought it was gonna rain, and it did a bit. But just like, we were with a completely new group of hikers, a couple section hikers, mostly through hikers, who we had either never met before or didn't really know. And it was cool to just like chat until late in the night, which is 8 o'clock. And I met someone else from Long Island, and we went to the same college at the same time. So that was funny last night. But anyway, we have a big climb, excuse me, ahead of us today. I'm fueled up with breakfast, even though I wasn't super hungry. And yeah, just hoping to crush this mountain because no one is looking forward to it. So it's funny, right now, hiking reminds me of hiking in the Whites in New Hampshire, because like the vegetation is very similar and the weather is very similar. Sort of gray, misty, foggy, and it makes sense that it's all similar because we're gonna reach over 6,000 feet today. And it's funny because like hiking down here, we've been at heights, elevations over 4,000, over 5,000 feet, but it doesn't really feel like it because back in the Northeast where I'm used to hiking at elevation like that, the temperatures, the weather, the vegetation is totally different than 4,000 feet. All those things are down here. So just sort of interesting to remember, like, we're really high up. We're doing some serious elevation changes. And it makes sense that the weather is funky like this. Also, yes, I did get a new outfit. Thank you for noticing. Tank top and shorts. Yes, it's warm. I'm more of a tank top gal. As nice as the... I don't know where the trail's going. As nice as the t-shirt was, I'm more of a tank top gal, you know, sun's out, guns out, so it's more my style. Here we are, the highest elevation shelter on the trail, and we've done it in 3.5 hours, and we thought it was going to take us many more hours than that because it's a 3,000 foot climb in 8 miles. So go us! Very different look from a few hours ago. Just passed through Carver Gap, and Carly had been telling us the area Carver Gap North is like one of her favorites, I think, and this is what we got. So that's unfortunate, but maybe the skies will clear.
There's some over there. Over there. I'm not going to do this right now.
To go up for Gumby. Perfect.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Sweet.
Have a naughty one.
Oh, good.
Let's go number 2.
Goodbye, North Carolina. Haha.
But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles down at your door. Take me home to the place when I belong, West Virginia.
Good morning. Got a bit of a late start today, 9:15, because breakfast wasn't till 8, and it was raining until 9, so waited for the rain to go. But now I'm back out on trail. I didn't really feel like talking to the camera much yesterday. We were in a more sort of like social environment and I was enjoying the company, so As you can see, yesterday I shared some of the highlights, but otherwise didn't do much talking. But we ended up at the station at 19E as the hostel, and they had karaoke, which, as you could see, was super fun. But I do want to give a shout out to Jamie Baker and the Baker family for sending me trail magic at the station at 19E. It was a really lovely surprise, and it helped make the night very special. So thank you, Jamie and family, and also to my parents and my boyfriend, who also sent me some trail magic there. It was really lovely to have that. For those who are wondering, there's a website that the station has where you could send a hiker, a specific hiker, or any random hiker, like money towards a beer or a meal or a bunk or whatever. And so the Bakers and my parents and my boyfriend all did that, and it was just very nice, and sort of, you know, harkens back to what I was talking about the other week about having supportive people at home and how it makes me feel special. So thank you to all of you.
Oh.
We've done it. That's at the top, and I'm working hard. So I also want to give a shout out to my coworker Abby and her podcast. Naming a movie podcast is hard. NAMPY for short. Because her and the co-host Matt are hilarious. Their chemistry is great. But I just listened to the Remember the Titans one, which is only 15 minutes. Because Abby had to go out on maternity leave and doesn't have as much time anymore. And it cracked me up. I'm like laughing out loud. And like people who are hiking in front of me are looking back at me. But it's just so funny. And when maybe you have a hard hike, hard climb, really helps get you up the hill. So shout out to Abby and Matt, who I've never met before. Okay, the most incredible thing just happened. We just met Aquaman, who Gumby's laughing at me. He's on my AT bucket list to meet. He started in like December in Maine and winter hiked down, and we just passed him today. And I was sitting in my tent and I heard something on the trail, so I poked my head out to see if there was a person, and there was this guy walking by, and he looked back at me when I popped my head out of the tent, and I recognized him. So I jumped out of my tent and ran to the trail, and I was like, "Are you Aquaman?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh my God, I've been wanting to meet you. Like, it's so exciting." And then he like came back up, and I called Gumby, who was doing some business at the time. And I was like, "Gumby, oh my God, it's Aquaman." And then we just like chatted like normal people instead of me being a crazy person for like 20 minutes. It was awesome. And it was so cool to meet him. You can find his videos on his YouTube channel, Scott Benneroff. He's like just a super cool normal guy, and he had some good advice for us, and you know, it was just cool to talk to him. So yeah, that was awesome. And we matched him. I'll post a little picture after this video clip that we all took together. Good morning. Day 41, I think. Meeting Scott Benneroff last night was so cool. Can't get over it. But it's funny because he was talking about like hunger, hiker hunger, which I've brought up as a thing, but we don't really have it yet. Our hunger is still mucky spot. Our hunger is still fairly manageable. Like you're really hungry, but it's still manageable. We were wondering, like, after he left to ourselves, how the heck, when I get hiker hunger, am I supposed to be able to carry enough food? Like, my food bag was already bursting as it was the other day. So, like, how am I supposed to carry food? when I actually have an insatiable hunger. So that'll be fun to figure out. Like, I'm already hungry. Just ate breakfast, already hungry again. How do I manage that? Guess we'll see together. Something that was also interesting when we were talking to Aquaman was, so we hit 400 miles yesterday, which was awesome. And I always pick the worst times to film. Can't film and talk and walk over this thing. So like I was saying, he congratulated us on 400 miles. And, you know, he's obviously gone like 1,700 or something like that. And he was saying that, like, these mile markers, even though they're on the smaller end, are still big accomplishments. Because, like, if you were to just walk 400 miles, that would be a big deal. It's only in the context of, like, the 2,200 miles we have to walk that 400 doesn't seem like much. And that was, like, just a good reminder to continue to celebrate the little wins. Like,
that was Rocket Man was saying that, like,
so the one sort of mountain we've had to hike today, it's funny, it's like flat and then like a whomp on the map, but it's a very exposed portion of trail, as you can see, but there are switchbacks, so I'm being evenly roasted like a nice little rotisserie chicken. But ooh, it is like oppressively hot in the sun, and we're not even in the hot part of the year yet. So I know I've said this a few other times about heat, but I've got to adapt, otherwise I'm going to be struggling more than I already am. Did you know Boston cream donuts have approximately 350 calories per donut? I just looked this up today because I was really hoping it would be somewhere closer to 500, because I just ate a couple of them because gotta fuel up. But don't worry, also had a banana for health, and obviously you gotta refuel the sodium, so Doritos. Just left Boots off Hostel. It's a bit after 4:30. Whoa. And still have another 3 miles to make it, so of course I need 700 calories of donuts in me to make it that far. Appalachian Trail. Hello friends. It's about 2 o'clock. I have about 7 miles left in my 19-mile day. I did not film sooner because we had a wind advisory this morning paired with rain and already cold temperatures. I'm just trying my best to keep everything dry because temps are supposed to get to 29 degrees tonight. Maybe snow overnight. It's frickin' mid-April. What's going on, Tennessee? But anyway, I'm probably gonna sleep in the shelter tonight, even though it's gonna be cold, because my tent is wet. And that would just mean I'd have to take down a frozen tent in the morning, which I have no interest in. So, yeah, not gonna be much video today because it's freaking cold. My hands are cold, everything's cold, my toes are cold. I'm waiting for them to warm up post-lunch so I could really kick on the turbo, but maybe if conditions are better later, I'll be back.